I'll wait like one more minute and then we'll get started. Being here and taking the time to have this town hall with us. Welcome you to Town of Origins if you're new. Welcome back if you're not. We're proud to bring you Season 9, which will be a classic Victorian Gothic horror-themed low fantasy season. This theme was a bit of a challenge. However, it's something the staff has been excited about for quite some time. We look forward to seeing a lot of the stories that you all create. Season's been in the planning stages since about February of 2022. Yeah, that's about a year and a half. There's hundreds of hours put into the mods created for this,
Hi, cats.
as well as dozens of hours. The staff has been preparing the server. Annie, Kay, a lot of the other staff have been on and off the server for weeks, getting these things prepared. Introduction to the staff. Of course, I am Faust. Annie is the other seasoned management here. Our admins, Eliania and Revan. Our mods, Dragon, Hunger, Cardia, Robin, Kay. Not everybody can be here because, I am very cruel to our European friends and make town halls at 8 o'clock at night. So it's about 2 o'clock in the morning for them. I do not blame them for not being here. Or any of our other European friends, unfortunately. They will be able to see the VOD. I believe that Aliania is recording, and we'll have a link somewhere after that they can see that, or you can share that with them. Special thanks to our content creators, Bella, Burrito Brie, Lister Fiend, Renegade, Riza, Sammy Sorbet, Stray Cat, and Sistiana. Again, thank you for helping us in this endeavor. We're consider ourselves to be a community server, and we have a Conan server that we do. We've been around since March of 2020. We've had 9 major seasons and a few mini seasons. The primary philosophy we like to go with is to bring interesting stories to our members and do our best to let everyone be the hero in their own story while participating in an overarching server story. It's a strong belief of ours that these overarching stories create a common thread for all storytellers to share and come together, even if they've never met. So there are times that there might be a story going on that you're trying to break into, or one group or another has a particular story, and that just seems to be the way that the server is leaning. That's not something you really have to worry about here. We have our content creators. It's basically their job to pull you in to that server story. If you choose to do so, if you don't want to do so, you don't have to. We don't force it on anybody. We do encourage people. You're going to have a much better time. Trust me if you do. But again, it's not something that we force. A little bit more about the lore, because I know we're a little cryptic. We're kind of trying to keep it that way a little bit. We don't want to give away everything, but it's going to be a 5th faction that is going to be non-player led. It's going to be a religious order of Sol Invictus, and they are going to be trying to claim the world for their lord, right? And their lord is the god of the sun. So you guys can probably see where I'm going with this. They want to bring in a new era of light and put an end to darkness and the creatures that inhabits it. The time frame is going to be circa 1823 in the 19th century. Any time prior to that can be referenced by your characters. It might be neat to actually reference some kind of event, especially if you're a character that lives for a long period of time. Referencing, well, I witnessed this or I witnessed that, and you could talk about these things. It might even be an interesting role play to compare where you were during this time to where somebody else was. Like, during the Battle of Waterloo, I was, in Paris and I was buying some chocolates, and I was on the front line of wherever, that sort of thing. I think that might be a neat kind of role play. A lot of the land is an alternate type reality where creatures of the night have been able to thrive.
You guys are welcome to post questions
humans
in chat,
to feed on or capture for labor.
If you're in the Discord,
also kind of ties in to what we can and can't do with Conan. A lot of the storytellers, we would put the basis that many have come from European origins, perhaps brought those cultures with them, as well as the architectures, so that that kind of coincides with the kind of architecture that we have up for the season. They are not limited to that, however. It's just something that gives a reason as to why things are the way they are. The character setting, the story is a blend of classical Victorian goth horror, werewolves, vampires, undead, immortals, humans inhabit a world, as well as creatures that would be appropriate for the 1800s. Beings or creatures that fit into a low fantasy setting should be created. We'll not be allowing hybrid type creatures, so there won't be vampire werewolves or werewolf vampires or high fantasy creatures like elves, dragons, fairies, that sort of thing. Yeah, we've seen Carnival Row. That might be a whole season on its own. But for what we're doing here, it's more of a horror setting than, say, like, a steampunk kind of that sort of setting.
Oh my God, no.
It's more about traditional horror. If you have a character idea and you're unsure if it fits, please feel free to open a ticket. We're less about wanting to say no and simply more wanting everyone to feel immersed in the world, the environment, and the role play. That's the most important thing for us. We've already had a lot of people do that, so thank you for those that have. Others pretty much have a good idea of what they're doing. One of the things we want to remind you guys is that you may not assign yourself as the main character in the server story. You may certainly wind up that way. You absolutely could, but that needs to be done by consensus of the community and through role play. So you can't come on and just say, I rolled a guy who's master of the universe and he wins everything.
Don't make sense in this.
No, we really don't want. We want you guys to be the hero in your own story. We don't want you guys to be the hero in everybody else's story unless they choose you to be that. That's really, kind of the biggest thing that we would like to see. Staff does their best to get everybody involved in the role play if they can. We dislike gatekeeping the RP, and we'll avoid it as much as we can. Sometimes we can't get to everyone. We do make an effort, but it's up to you to involve yourself. We can't go knocking on everybody's door to give personal invites to the RP. There's just too many people and too much going on to be able to do that. We do have a hub town. The hub town, some of you already know the way we do it is we actually use a bit of a psychological ploy. The portals that you go to the hub town from to go to other portals out, you have to literally go through the entire town. That is on purpose. That is done because there's a lot of people that might just, if you're looking for somebody to role play with or you're looking for people, just doing stuff in town and people going by adds to that tremendously. So you'll see that. And if you're curious why it's like that, that's exactly why we did that. There's 4 factions, right?
It's like one
So
block, I
there's
think.
human / immortal. Human
and
immortals are basically the same. The only difference is immortals can heal themselves, and they can live for long periods of time. Other than that, they have no other special powers, just like a human being, and they look exactly identical. Werewolves, vampires, and undead. You don't have to live with the same faction that you live with. You know, there may be RP consequences for doing that, but you know, storytellers like humans can live with vampires. There's, I'm sure, going to be familiars, that sort of thing. There might be some humans living with the undead, undead and vampires and werewolves living with the humans. You know, if they're hiding amongst them, okay. If they don't hide amongst them and there's ramifications, that's just something that you're going to have to, you know, deal with in role play. The 4 clans we have 4 main server-wide clans, and they are not going to be admin-led, and I'll get a little bit more into that in a second. But they will be up to 40 players, up to 40 storytellers can be in each one of these clans. I know a lot of folks here, I see a lot of familiar faces, so they know that actually being in a large clan like this, it initially sounds like it's not a good idea, but actually after you've done it, it leads to a tremendous amount of RP and actually a tremendous amount of immersion, because you feel like you're in a real live place, a real life town, and there's people walking around and going to shops and all sorts of things. You don't have to join these clans. You can have your own clan in your own area. People that do that do tend to lose out on a bit of the RP and a bit of the story, unfortunately. So we do encourage you to look into joining the large clans. You can join some housing that's already created, or you can build your own housing on the outskirts of the town, as long as you keep it within, you know, the same kind of building elements that the town's in. For instance, we don't want to have, you don't want to have, like, you know, a big stone brick mansion and then next to it you have a grass hut or a, you know, some kind of Viking building or something. It just would throw people off.
Galaxy sphere standing. I don't know what this block is called.
The 4 clans are: for vampire, it's Grimwood Estates. For werewolf, it's Silverfang. For the undead, it's Mortis Velox, which is Latin for quick death. And the immortal / human clan is Last Bastion. I'll talk a little bit about each race. Again, it's kind of reiterating what was on the guidelines, so you might have heard some of this before. Werewolves will be primarily a selected race with Indrids, so we'll have the courage you can turn into a werewolf. We're also investigating some of the reports that some of the four-legged wolf transmogs seem to be having some issues with Indrids. We've been testing, but we haven't been able to replicate it yet.
Oh my god, imagine if these snap.
If that is the case, our backup plan then is to issue regular old transmogs that you would put on and turn into that animal. The only difference is you wouldn't be able to fight with the animal. Werewolves may either be afflicted or true. So either if they're true, that means they were born that way. If they were afflicted, somebody turned them. You can have all kinds of manners of triggering. That's up to you. You know, if it's a full moon or if it's, you know, too emotional, or, you know, you can do it at will, at night, whatever. It's really up to the player base, because I could literally find documentation to cover any one of those. One thing we do want to have you do is, if you're doing this as, say, a werewolf, we want you to be consistent in how you do it. So if you turn into a wolf, always just turn into a wolf. Don't turn into a wolf and then a humanoid and then something else and then a dog and then, you know, whatever else. Just try to stay consistent and just be that one thing.
I'll have to have
because that does make it much more special.
I don't think I can do it.
Also, just so you know, storytellers,
Yeah,
they
they'll
can't
have to
assign
fix the
themselves as
same.
the core alpha or the original maker werewolf or original maker vampire, that sort of thing. That is something that, I mean, imagine if everybody was trying to run around claiming that. So it's better that we, don't allow anyone to claim it. That'll be claimed by,
I'll have him do it in a minute.
server story.
Whoops.
Uh, Getting into the vampires. Vampires, there's multiple kinds of vampires. Whether you can and cannot go out in the sunlight, I think that is up to the players. That's up to the storytellers. Again, be consistent. If you're going to be afraid of sunlight, always be afraid of sunlight. If you're going to be afraid of crosses, always be afraid of crosses. Just, keep the consistency. And I think people will, really respect your RP for it. We have basically
Be
4 different
immersive.
vampire types that we outlined.
Maintain
So there's
immersion.
the typical blood drinkers, the emotional vampires are emphatic. They might be, all kinds of vampires. There's even, I believe, emphatic vampires might be like not succubus, but pretty close to something like that. Psi vampires, which are like energy vampires. If you've ever seen What We Do in the Dark, they have an energy vampires, kind of comical, but there's other ones in lore that are real. And then there's disfigured, Nosferatu type vampires that might be more monstrous in nature. Undead, ghouls, zombies, whites, that kind of thing. In a 19th century setting, we can't allow anybody to be invisible. Just I don't know how that would help with RP. I mean, it would be funny for a time if you're the guy doing it, but if you're the people not seeing this person, I think it leads to more problems than it gives. Right? It's not enough juice for the squeeze. Mortals, I talked about them, and humans are just regular humans. Now, the one thing I could say about humans is if you start off as a human on the server, you do have the option of being turned and being afflicted with one thing or another. So that's just a ticket to us, that whoever is going to turn you and you agree to it, and then we'll make sure that we get the appropriate things set up so that you can, make your change. The faction leadership. Now, this is just for the large 40-player clans. Those leaderships are going to be councils. Staff members, if they're in the clan, they'll be a member. They will be a member of the council, just to kind of keep things on the rails and keep people, keep people in line and kind of keep the bickering and stuff to a minimum, which tends to happen. It doesn't remove any authority they have for making, rule interpretations or, changes that might be necessary for server health. We always have to reserve that right. But they will not be in charge. They will not be, they will not be dictating to everybody what is going on. The group will decide and they will pitch their 2 cents in just like everybody else. Warfare and PvP, RP first. That's the biggest thing. Each faction will determine if they choose to go to war with another faction, or even have wars within the faction itself. And server PvP rules apply. It's one thing it's important to say is that, we enjoy PvP here. We're not against it. But that said, it is our opinion that PvP should accentuate roleplay, not roleplay accentuate PvP. Non-server clans, storytellers, they can have their own clans. You're limited to a maximum of 12 members. This is an increase from the regular size of 10 that's listed on the server rules. So certain guidelines, we can override the common server rules, and we're going to. So you can have up to 12 members. Build limits, however, stay the same. You have to look on the website for the build limits. That's up to 5,000 pieces with 10 to 12 members. I would be very surprised if you hit 5,000 pieces because, I mean, we built the whole hub town. I think for like 2,200 pieces, something like that. So a lot of the new building pieces have like 4 high and 2 high walls, things like that, that really help with putting the build limit down. We have some very basic classes, just because of the nuance and the complication of doing
I don't know who put this list together, but
doing the curses and doing classes and doing racials. So the classes are Knight, which is pretty much set to be a tank.
chocolate kicks.
A Mage, which is a ranged DPS. They'll get a number of spells. We're still going back and forth on which ones they get, just to find out, try to think about which ones are appropriate for, 19th century, Victorian setting. Crusader, which is a tank / DPS, think off tank. A little bit more on damage, a little less on
like these are my
absorption
cupcakes.
and
These
health.
were named after me.
Rogue, which is a melee DPS. A Huntsman, which is a ranged DPS. We are looking into using the guns from high mains.
How are you, Calico?
We'll have to see, what we need to adjust to make sure they're balanced. And the last one is Cleric, which is a fighter / caster. It's more going to be a damage caster. As I said, the Immortals are the only race that's going to be able to heal. So they'll be the only one getting Mitra's Grace as part of their, to differentiate them. New mods, so a lot of you have been playing with them. There are 5 mods that are specific to Time of Origins, 4 of which will be introduced for this season. So the first mod is Core, which is basically raw resources, materials, space crafting, that sort of thing. So when you're banging on rocks and doing other things, you'll notice new raw materials that you haven't seen before. Those things are used to craft intermediary items and end items. And what I'll do is I'll circle back once I get to the end of this list to tell you what we plan to do with some of those. But a lot of the intermediary items you craft are placeable. So if you make like an ingot, you can place the ingot. If you make an empty potion bottle, you can place the empty potion bottle. If you make a potion with, something in it, you can place that, and they'll all be very different. The next mod is Noir, and that's primarily building pieces and decor. So I have that split out. There's some 400 and something building pieces that are pretty much tossed between brick and stone. There's 5 different color wallpapers that have 2-sided walls, so you can have brick on the outside and wallpaper on the inside. Stained with stone, and wallpaper on the inside. Windows, all kinds of things. If you haven't gotten a chance, check it out. We don't have the crafting for that done yet. I am working on it. It's a lot of data entry. But we will have it up for sale. I believe it packs of 5 for like 1 bronze, Pibby bronze or something like that. So you should be able to go and shop and buy the pieces that you need for relatively inexpensive and build the place you want to. As the season progresses, of course, I'll be working on this to get that crafting done. It's just, it's a lot to enter. It really is. Next mod is Chateau. Chateau is basically furniture and decor. The furniture in there right now is all Gothic themed, so it should go with your house, just fine.
I can't remember.
All placeables.
If you can see your reflection in this mirror.
The next one is Lamort. Lamort is the horror themed decor and elements. In those are coffins and tombstones, crypts, trees, a bunch of stuff like fences and rails, stuff you would expect to be able to make a nice, kind of horror scene. Those will be available to you too. And the coffins are double as beds. So you have 2 different versions. You have a closed version and an open version. You can bind to them. And the tombstones they have both new tombstones and old tombstones are writable. So you can write a name on it. You can write "rip" on it. You could write, whatever would fit on a sign will fit on the tombstone. The last mod I want to talk about is Weapons of War. It's something that we've had before on the server, and it's not in now because it was geared towards Age of Calamitous. So the weapons were a lot higher damage, and the sizes were compatible with that particular mod. We're going to reduce them back down, so they're about as big as the vanilla, maybe a little slightly bigger, but not anime big. And work on the damages and the stat attributes they give, as well as some other ideas I have where we're going to have a tiered system. So tier 1 weapons, you'll be able to learn it and you'll be able to make it as a blacksmith. Tier 2 weapons will be weapon sets of very specialized items. Some of you have seen them before, like the ice weapons, the stone weapons, the jade weapons.
Ooh,
Those will be tier 2, so they'll be slightly better than the tier 1 weapons. Not a whole lot, enough to make you want them, but not enough to make it where if you don't have them, you're going to lose every fight you're in. And then there's tier 3 weapons. Tier 3 weapons will not be able to be crafted. They will be drop only. So if you find one, consider yourself super lucky and treasure it, because you'll have something that nobody else has unless they get one as a drop. Those things will be coming later on. I will try to get to them in the season. I can't promise that I'll have it all done, but I will certainly make the effort. We have a new currency. It's a coin that's going to be able to be traded for Bitcoin at a bank at the hub. It's I believe it's called the Origins coin, or I'm not sure what we called it, but
Origins coin, yeah.
Is that what it? Yeah, Origins coin. So you'll be able to trade that in for Bitcoin to be able to buy more stuff. We'll work on getting an economy going. We have to see what's valuable to people, what's not valuable to people. And I think that's pretty much covers a lot of the stuff for the mods. Now, as you all know, we're going live on Sunday, August 13th. We're going to go live at noon, and we will, we'll rock from then. Seasons typically last about 3 months, sometimes a little longer. It really depends on the interest in the story. We've had seasons go 4 months, 4.5 months, and people were yelling at us not to stop the season. But we'll do our best to make it interesting and fun for you guys. We're doing something a little bit different. We are doing chapters this season, so it's season 9, chapter 1. Next season will be chapter 2. And what we plan to do is we're going to keep the same theme and kind of keep the same sort of storyline, but we're going to increase the time frame by 10 years. So chapter 2 will be in 1833, as an example. And you may bring your character from chapter 1 to chapter 2 if they live. And of course refer to the people, places, and things from chapter 1. And so we can kind of give that a try and see how that works out. It might be enjoyable. It's not something we've done before. So let me open it up to any Q&A or any questions you guys have. Feel free to put them into the town hall questions, and we'll do our best to answer. Hopefully I covered a lot of what you guys wanted to see. I see people typing, so I will wait for them to get done.
Is this the really big lantern?
All right, let's see what we got here. Okay. Let's see, I came in late, so I went over to mention was class swap going to be available? Um, I think so. Um, we know people like to try stuff out, and they want to know what the meta is. But no, I'm kidding. Yeah, I think we'll allow people to do class swaps a certain amount of time, a certain amount of times and a certain amount of time. So if you're like want to try out every class and then write down what the stats are and all that stuff, probably not. But 2 or 3, if you can't figure out what you want to do in 2 or 3, will they be towns to join by chance? Yes, there will be towns to join. So there is pretty much a start of a town for each faction. And there is a singular hub town that kind of has like different kind of districts. Annie did a really good job of building that place. So there's almost like an undead district and like, a vampire district, like that kind of thing. It's just more decor wise, but there's places there that you might want if you wanted to say, sell stuff. That might be a cool place to hang out. If we need to have stalls or something like that, maybe, put in a ticket and we'll look into it. But you can always do that stuff in the main town that you're in. Let's see. In regards to 40-man clans, can members still bid personal housing outside the designated cities? And about the pre-bid houses, can these be personalized? So the houses that are pre-built are usually more like apartment type things. So personalizing them might impact other people that are living there. It's mainly for people that just don't like to build or don't care about building. We have the apartments. You can decorate the inside of it and go nuts. There you can build your own house because we know people like to build and we don't want to stop people from having to build, right? We just don't go nuts, right? And try to keep within the build limit for your size. Like, I think it's like 500 pieces and you should be able to build a hell of a place for 500 pieces with what we have. And just make sure that it fits, it fits your, it fits the theme of the town you're in. But yeah, you can be in that clan and you know what I mean? You can build somewhat away. You know what I mean? You don't want to be like halfway across the map. I'd say if you're building further than a grid square away, it's probably too far. I hope that answered the question.
Some of the buildings and some of the houses as well. Oh no.
Well, I mean, if you have a single house, as long as you keep the same footprint, I think you can modify it. If it's an apartment with multiple people, then it's probably unfair to modify it. Let's see. Next question. I assume there would be merchants, vendors buying and selling items and resources. Will there be options for fishermen to make some coin too via merchants, vendors, and the use of the improved fishing chair, hat, etc.?
Isn't this really big?
Maybe. I mean, if that's something, that's definitely something we can look into doing. We are going to be adding and kind of shifting around vendors as time goes on. So it's not very stale. Like you always go to Bob and you always bring Bob some straw and Bob gives you some money. And like, that's what you do the whole season. We're going to switch people around so that you're not always having to do that. So yeah, like, that sounds like a cool idea, the fisherman thing. Is there going to be a build box kit? There will be kits. I don't think we're going to do a build box per se because you can just buy a lot of the pieces right out of the box for like, you can buy a stack of 5 for like 1 Pippi bronze. So I think us trying to guess every piece that people need because there's literally, I'm not exaggerating, like hundreds of pieces.
Note that. I'll note that.
Or are you talking about just give me some wood so I can go build a shack?
I know that there are some though, but I want to make sure that they're in here. You're right.
Just give you the goods. So you mean like wood, stone, that sort of thing? I mean, we have the rates jacked up pretty high, so it does not take a lot to get stuff to make a small house.
I don't know what these chests are in this kit,
When it comes to
though.
blacksmiths, bladesmiths, armorsmiths, and people who make these items getting higher quality items to sell to encourage roleplay.
There was some interesting stuff put in some of these kits.
I think so. I don't know.
Why
Like,
are these put here?
when it comes to high mains is something that I'm kind of new to. So I don't know the effects of crafting on high mains. I was,
I don't know.
I knew a lot about AOC, but when it comes
What
to
is
like
high
that
mains?
particular mod, I'm not sure.
Oh, I pulled the same chest twice.
Plans to read server lore before launch. We did push out a lore / guidelines document, but the way we do our lore is we make it discoverable. So the lore will find you. There will be things like dungeons to explore and other events that you'll start seeing this lore start to reveal itself. Think of it like this. We kind of almost do this like a big D&D campaign where we're not necessarily the dungeon masters, but we do kind of roll through a campaign like that. So we kind of look to see what the player base is doing and move in one kind of direction or another. Let's see. The city's location, faction, and history people can use to inform their character creation process. Or if they would like to role play a local or someone who's been around for a while. If you have specific questions that you want to know for your character, open a ticket. Seriously. Open a ticket and say, hey, I'd like to know a little bit more about maybe this or maybe that, and we'd be glad to ask you. A lot of times also when we have certain dungeons, there might be puzzles, there might be kind of mysteries in there, that sort of thing. And we have some people really, really, really get into it. Like they really want to figure it out. And then we have other people who they just want to go and they want to boop everything and get the stuff. So, however you want to play is okay with us, but they'll open a ticket and they'll ask us like, I'm gonna, smack this thing with a hammer. What happens? And we'll tell you what happens. Or we'll give you the clues to figure it out. All right, what else we got? I know Renegade's gonna boop all of the things now.
I don't understand Critical's question.
Okay, I thought somebody was going to type. Does anybody else have any other questions? If it's something we didn't cover or a question you have later, feel free to put in a ticket and ask. We don't have any problems, answering. If there's nothing else, again, I want to thank you all for coming here and taking the time to listen to me ramble on about all this stuff. We really do hope you guys have an enjoyable time and, look forward to seeing you all on the server. Will alts be allowed this season? I'm not sure. Like, I think alts really is a situational thing. It depends.
Why do you need it?
Since we have such large, since we have such large clans, finding people to RP with shouldn't be as much of a problem as it is on other, in other places. Yeah. Burn the non-believers. I got it. I got the joke. You know, so where's the almighty shrine of Mitra so we can burn the non-believer? Isn't that Yogg? I think that's Yogg, right? You want to throw people in the fire? I see somebody else is typing, so I'll wait here.
I thought Yogg was the cannibals.
Yeah, but it doesn't have like a pit of fire that they throw people into?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I think it is. It's the one on the side of the
Yeah.
house, right? Or the mountain, right?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Take my medium rare, please.
I'll take my human medium rare, thank you.
I have seen the trailer, and I've seen most of the races in the trailer. Will be a bit more to choose from, like race choices. The race choices are the race choices are humans, immortals, vampires, werewolves, undead, which, you know, again, those things are kind of generalized, so they cover, you know, you can have multiples of each one of those things. And then you could have the other race, which is the only other race that isn't really mentioned, which is the other, is demon, and we have as a choice. And we would like to see the demons be more like, if you've seen The Exorcist, something like that, as opposed to like, you know, typical running around with bat wings, you know, and horns kind of thing. Yeah, like, you know, like a demon. It's actually challenging. Yeah, good old fashioned possession. What are the gods? The gods are anything that you would find in, you know, Victorian times or earlier. If you are from earlier, maybe you want to worship, you know, maybe you worship Ra, the sun god, because you're, you know, an ancient Egyptian. It just lived this long.
Massive horns.
You could do that. I mean, that's up to you. You could worship Mitra if you want. You could worship, you know, any gods. Helios is super old. I mean, that's from, you know, ancient Roman times. Will people need to specifically pick which of the stated vampires they are, or was that general category as an example? Specifically for the vampire faction, we are souping everything that sustains itself by draining something into it. I mean, for the most part, yeah. You know, the vampires are loosely defined as, you know, basically living dead people that suck in the essence of life to keep themselves alive. As far as what kind of vampire, again, just be consistent. Don't be memey. We don't want to see memey characters. That's a good way to get a visit from me. And I'll be like, I put too many hours in this to see a memey character. We're going to be cracking down a lot on that. We'd like to see, you know, we'd like to see high value RP. And I know a lot of the people that are in this chat right now, and I know they're absolutely capable of it. So you don't have to state what kind of vampire you are. You know, like, I mean, you don't even have to state you are a vampire. In fact, I wouldn't be. You're not going to know. I'm not going to tell you. Yeah, no cuddle puddle demons, please. Yeah.
For the love of God.
Yeah, no cuddle puddle demons, no demon pimp daddies, you know, with the harem of succubus, you know, like that sort of thing. Let's see. I caught noon on Sunday for opening, got distracted by a call. What the time zone's Eastern time. So it's 12 noon Eastern. We'll be going live. Can there be a Chulu cult?
Cthulhu, yeah.
I don't know. Is that even a real thing?
What did you just
Cthulhu? Say? A Cthulhu cult? I don't know how to pronounce that crap.
It's a Cthulhu.
How dare you?
Gesundheit.
I am offended. Okay, I'm going back to quiet.
A Coachella. I could go with a Coachella cult.
Right?
I mean, if you want to make a Cthulhu cult, sure, go for it. Okay, so I think that answers that one. Anybody else got a question, comments, joke of the day? Vampires are undead. Why have them in a faction of their own? Just because there's so many different
versions of undead.
different versions of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I could have cut instead of undead, I could have said ghouls, right, and then made that distinction. But yeah, I mean, I think vampires have enough of their own different categories to merit their own kind of category. You know, whereas undead, you know, you have zombies, ghouls, liches, you know, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of human stuff you guys can do. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a lot of kind of mad scientist stuff going in. You know, all that stuff. What is with the Coachella? All right. Anybody else have anything? Because if not, you know, we can wrap this up. And people are typing.
Items or amulets. Help with role playing. I mean,
Oh God.
Down to Coachella.
Is Frankenstein style stuff's cool? Yes. Frankenstein would certainly be appropriate for 1800s.
gargoyles, Frankenstein. Oh.
So watch it. Wait for people to type. Let's see. Let's see while we're waiting for Sammy to type. Tap, 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 tap.
I forgot what I was saying now.
Good job, House.
Woohoo! That, I mean, come on. She's not hard to distract. It's like distracting me.
To answer Rise's question, will there be faction
Like, don't think
crafting
about
versus
zebras.
faction crafting?
Zebras?
Yeah,
Did he
damn
answer
it.
that?
God damn it, you did to me, man. Jesus.
Last question. Are all our characters supposed to have just arrived to this area? No, they do not have to have just arrived. You can RP that they've been there for a while if you like. They're established, that sort of thing. Or you can, you know, that you've just arrived. The idea was just to give a sense of why we're in this strange place, why we're in this new land, just because we're confined to this particular map. So yeah, you can play. I've been here for centuries, or you know, I just got here. Vampire is a curse. Some undead is like zombies, ghosts, zebras, mummies, skeletons. Yes. All right. Anybody else got any? Oh, one thing I want to bring up. We added 2 extra channels in the Discord, you know, because we don't have enough Discord channels. That's sarcasm. But they are for the mods. So there's a label called 2 mods and mod updates and mod bugs. So if you guys encounter a bug, take a look in there and see if it's already listed. If it's not, you know, feel free to throw it in there, and you know, depending on how broken it is, I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. It's broken down by the different mods. A little pro tip for you guys is that the mods have different frames to them. I don't know if you've noticed. So core will have like purple frame around the items. I'm switching up the Lamort frames. They should have a white kind of lacy frame around them. No, Lamort has the gray frames. I think Chateau has a white. Chateau has a white. And yeah, so those will kind of give you an idea of what mod they belong to, if you don't know.
I'm not gonna adjust.
If not, we'll figure it out.
These are gonna be super low. Because these are Faust's new mod.
Can the werewolf faction be other were creatures or specific wolves? They're going to be limited
Hi,
to
Reaper. How are
basically
you?
werewolves or humanoid werewolves. Yeah, there's no were bunnies.
How
I'm
cool this
sorry.
looks.
No chaos bunnies. I know some people were
I
very
wanna see those
disappointed to hear
gargoyles.
that.
That's not it. Rum, rum.
No jackalopes.
Jackalopes. Who Put
Yeah.
this guy in here.
No werebears. No Wendigos.
Wendigo.
No.
Yes.
No were zebras. And the infamous vampire were bunny. Yes. So, play with your characters. No man, bear, pigs. And, if you guys have questions, you know where to find us. We're here, and we'll see you guys on Sunday. Sunday. You cannot play a
They
Wendigo.
did an amazing job. Yeah, I need a name.
No, you
Correct
can't play an
gender.
undead man, bear, pig, or an undead Mendingo. No, a Wendigo, not a Mendingo.
Mandingo? What?
What? I'm sorry. What?
Bro, hold on.
That was a slip of the tongue.
I know, I'm harassing you fellas, I'm sorry.
Talking about it now.
Well, I gotta be careful,
I know, I'm just messing with you.
This is why we can't have nice things, God.
You know, sometimes, yeah. It's
Right.
the way it is. It's the way it goes, guys.
No, wear ninja rats. No, nothing.
No, where ninja rats, bro? Come on.
God damn it, I gotta redo my character now.
I gotta redo my whole concept,
Well,
bro.
I have to go fix corn because I broke the map. So
Oh no. Wait, go fix corn? What?
Core. Yeah, the children of corn, he's gotta go fix them.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just heard that.
He's
Yeah,
got
it's
we're
like
bunny
the children
vampire
of corn.
hookers.
No.
What? Oh no. Okay.
Oh wow, we're just. I have a feeling I know how this
Evolving.
season's gonna go.
It's devolving very fast.
Everyone look for loopholes.
It's gonna be glorious. Hopefully, you guys will have fun, and we look forward to it. We're getting everything ready. There's a lot.
Nick, what was
Good.
your
I'm glad you
character's
guys
last name?
are looking forward to it.
Steel?
I
right?
think we hit on the trailer. I mean, the highest we had was 300 views after a year of the previous season. I think we're fixing to hit 500 after a week or 10 days or whatever it was. It's kind of crazy.
It's crazy.
I'm gonna name this character.
Yeah,
after
there's going to be a
Nick.
lot. There's a lot of good RPers here.
Sir Nick. I'm not gonna use like.
All right.
Your
Well,
real name,
if
but Sir
there's
Nicholas
no
Steele.
other
We're just
questions,
gonna
feel free to hang out.
name him.
But I think we've pretty much covered everything we need to cover.
I think the character's name was Steele,
I'm
right?
not kicking anybody out,
2 E's.
but we're just going to wind up devolving into speak about zombies, zebras, and were bunnies with wings.
We've beaten a dead horse we're not allowed to play.
Oh, little man bun.
One of the things I can say is I've picked up a number of asset packs that I'm going to be adding in. So there's more furniture that's going to be coming. And just for you guys showing up, I will show you this.
Oh.
I am putting this in.
Sneak peeks.
Well, you know what I posted. And
I know.
I'm going to say it has taken all my effort to not do one specific thing, and I'll show you. Okay, so we have this that's going to be coming in soon. Yeah, they're like torn apart body parts. But if you notice in the third little block from the bottom, on the bottom, there's a nose. And I really, really, really was debating, like, should I make it like a hand thing that you can hold in your hand and you can run around and be like, I got your nose.
I have ideas now. Anyway.
I got your nose.
Oh my god. I hope somebody
And
makes a
there
group
was other
of
comments
hookers.
like, just give them the finger.
Oh my god.
Finger foods. Yes, you could see me doing that.
Yeah.
Especially as like Larry the vampire. I got your finger. I got your nose. I got your nose right here in my hand.
Come here, let's take a look at the nose I have in my hand, yeah? Yeah, Laverne. That was a fun
It's more
character.
like Laverne.
Yeah.
I know Laverne. Yeah, Laverne and like Larry are pretty much interchangeable. Yeah, but Larry's a little more Brooklyn. I'm a little tired. You have to excuse me.
She's running a brothel.
Who yelled at you for being awake till 5 a.m.?
Everybody.
Everyone.
I
Yep,
started
everyone.
to, but then I passed out because I know I was gonna get ass kicked by Ryza if I didn't.
You don't get to pick on Faust. You never get to pick on Faust. Alice the Madness Returns. You ever pick on Faust
I don't.
about him staying up late to work?
I only picked on him because you said to pick on him.
So one of the things, like, and I didn't really bring this up, but we do our surveys. So, you know, a lot of people, I see new faces here, and one of the things we do is we actually do, and people I think will back me up here that are here. We listen to our community, so we put out surveys, usually at the end of seasons to get an idea, and we share the results of those surveys so that everybody can see we're not full of crap. And, you know, people, you know, if we're doing something that people like, or, you know, we try new things, we try different things, and we don't always bat 1,000, but, you know, we do try new things and put things out there. And, you know, not to toot our own horn, but I think we've kind of pioneered some things by doing that, which was neat. Yeah. Night, Sammy. Don't dream about zebras.
She's gonna dream about zebras.
I've said it, yeah.
Jumping over hay.
If anybody needs a little inspiration for a Victorian theme, I've been running movies with Victorian theme almost every night.
Movies? Renting?
And I will probably continue until Sunday. In fact, pre-launch, I'll probably stream one to the Discord if anybody wants to join me.
I can't ever get the lip colors to work on these.
Yeah, very
I
nice.
don't know why, but they don't ever work. Oh, the hair color. Where's the hair color?
Hey, Lister's here.
Oh, look, a Lister.
Also, for the new guys, Faustbot has some commands you can do. And one of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to update it. I think, maybe it's too late for this season. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it's worth the effort if I put in the races and the classes for this season and had it do like a season challenge character?
Could.
Yeah, so if you don't know what I mean, just go into general chat and then type like the shift 6, which is the up carrot. Yeah, Ryza just did it. And then it'll roll something for you randomly. And sometimes you get some pretty hilarious combinations. Sometimes they're lame, but sometimes they're hilarious too.
I don't really want to fuck with all that stuff right now. It's too much work.
It also tells dad jokes and it does a bunch of other things. So
building pieces.
More importantly, also you can type the command, which is the carrot above 6, and ask for the mod list, and it'll actually give you a link to the mod list. I think it gives you a link to the server info too. Thought it did. Maybe it gives us something else.
Portal town drunk with a habit of Hall of the Mountain King. That's great. Yeah, total town drunk.
I mean, some of these would make like really awesome characters. That
Some of them would, yeah. I agree.
Okay, so let me think here. Anything else I really missed that you guys can think of, staff? I feel like we've done this so much. I'm like, oh, it's like old hat or what?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we did
Yeah, I think we're good.
cover the zebras.
Zebras.
I'm going to be, one of my other projects is going to be creating trying to create a companion. Some of the staff saw it, so they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
It's going to be a bit of a surprise, but I want that to be craftable with all kinds of interesting, weird parts. So I think that'll be cool to do as like a crafting project, but I have to make that thing work first. But I have to fix everything else before that. So hit that thing.
Yeah. Some people are not going to be very hippocampus about that one. Not in a bad way, in like a, oh my god, what the hell is that type of way.
Exactly. What is that, and where can I get one?
Yep. It's like a thing of nightmares.
Another thing I plan on doing is eventually learning how to do armors. Well, either armors or our own map. Don't know which one's harder. But I am going to move up into where am I going to move to? Move up to Origin Breakfast Inn. And you guys are free to join me. And you can actually talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into the inn as well.
How to join the large clans. So either you'll start off in the area. So there will be people around. There'll be staff members around in those towns. And you can just ask and find out. Yeah, kind of found out in RP. If you can't find anybody that can actually help you get in, just put in a ticket and we'll get you in.
Yeah, no worries. You got your rep.
Oh my god, this is awkward. The last
totally looking at nerds.
Was me, AP, cast, and system.
That's good. I appreciate when somebody does not waste my time and has their thoughts organized like that. That's great.
We're out of
Yeah.
there.
It's like this isn't our first rodeo. This is like our 12th rodeo.
9th and a half.
Oh, we had 2 half seasons.
I stole
Well, that was a perfect
Hi,
8-second ride, sir.
I did stream it so that you can go back and listen to it.
You ride it down.
I'm also gonna highlight it later, and I'll put it up there.
You see you sizing them chickens?
Them are huge.
Just so you can. I mean, you can go back.
I need to
Actually,
come in
let me
here
make
and
sure the
help
VOD is
help me
already
do
published. I might have to do it
I'll
after.
help you do what you need to get done.
Weapons
No worries.
stuff.
No
let me
worries.
go
I
do
got
it
you,
quickly
man.
for you so you can head back to the beginning
No
of it.
worries. Where am I going?
I'm
Yeah, I
getting beaten up by
GTA
Rice
as well,
like on
and
Rice's server.
Oh, okay.
my
Gotcha.
VODs
Fair.
don't publish automatically just because of the music that people play.
Everybody has their clothes sorted.
And it sucks, but I have to like go
2
in after each
outfits, which is
stream
clearly
just to
not enough.
publish
Coming
it.
off of my last character that had 15.
It should be.
I mean,
public
don't
enough
most
if you
characters
take a
have like
look.
6 or
It
7
should
at
be
least?
available.
No, Marigold just got dressed every day. New clothes.
New
Most of mine
clothes
usually have like
every day.
2 outfits.
By which it means the same 3 outfits with different colors.
That is not true. They were branding new outfits every fucking day.
Different
Spent
colors.
time- They
One
were
was
very
orange and one was blue.
bright. No, that was actually how the outfits were named.
Oh,
Okay, I need help
They were
with
named by
men's
color, but
clothing.
I worked on an outfit every single
Because I
day.
don't know what to put on these thespians.
I think I wore the same outfit like every day for the whole season. The
Do I
one
want to
time.
name him Sir Nicholas?
There's
They
only
don't
so much that looks
steal.
good on goblins, okay?
True.
I'm naming him.
And they don't make a lot of clothes for guys. And we tried to find a lot of them. That's why there's so many mods to try to get like clothing
Yeah.
options, not
For
so much
both.
for the women, but more for the guys, because like when you cobble all the mods together, there might be like 8.
Yeah. It's either armor or like rags. Everything's rags.
Yep. just
Or
rags.
really tight pants.
Honestly, like every single pair of pants I try to freaking wear is like, okay, that's really, really tight.
I can't really.
That's snug.
You know, that's snug,
can't
man.
adjust
Like,
these
there's no breathing room.
because it
Every guy in
works
Conan's
for
trying to
the
get his
women.
80s rock group back together.
Right, dude? Yeah. The leather tight pants. That's how it goes.
Yeah, long,
Right.
uncombed hair, skin
No,
tight
no.
leather. You know, that works
No,
the
no.
best.
No.
Who was it? I had what was that, season 8.5, right? My character was basically Dave Grohl.
Why does he look yellow?
That was that whole season, though.
It's
I swear to God, it was goblin like a fucking labyrinth the whole time.
Oh, you're season 8. You're talking.
You said 8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was in fucking like just the most ridiculous looking clothing.
Oh yeah. That was just. Yeah, that was weird.
I mean,
And
the
then-
theme couldn't have had nothing to do with that.
And they were all kind of like gambler-aholics.
Bless you.
I know.
They're all
Bless
sleuths.
you.
Don't worry.
I ran the gambling den. People like came in there all the time, playing blackjack and freaking gambling for the boxes.
It was addictive. I didn't like that. My friends would come and be like, and that's another chippy. 12 more chippies. I
That
enjoyed
was-
the brooms though.
Mm-hmm.
Immersion breaking brooms that everybody would
Oh.
have.
Oh no! And everybody like would
Okay, let me look for
transmite
secret
them with like
doors.
a sickle or
Is
something.
it called secret
Well,
doors?
yeah. And then
Secret passage.
riding on a sword.
Yeah, all that too.
They were so fast.
I really want to make some shoulder pets. Maybe I'll talk to
I'm
Cyber.
definitely gonna put secret.
You guys have no
passages.
idea what I have planned. You could-
No?
These-
No idea?
These shoulder. Well, you do. No, I don't think. No, I don't think I showed you.
You might have. You showed me a lot of things, bro. Honestly.
I'm actually looking at our DM history. I don't think I showed you this.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
No, not
I'll
yet. Alright, well.
Hold on, I'll show you because I showed Annie, and I was like, should I buy this? And she's like, you're pretty crazy.
And then the answer to that question became a yes immediately, didn't it?
No, because it's not on. It wasn't on sale, and
Oh,
I
okay,
don't know
that's
how
fine.
to
What
do
did
it
they
yet.
say?
That's fair.
Secret decor?
Booth.
Oh, secret.
Imagine
what
that
is-
as a shoulder
they all
pet.
say secret door.
You know,
Wow.
that could be pretty hilarious.
Exactly.
Jesus, that's something.
Hold on, let me show you the other one.
No. What are you doing to me, Faust?
This one's worst.
Oh. Yikes.
I'm killing everybody in the chat
Oh
right
my
now.
gosh, AP,
You
you're
are
playing
the worst.
Apex without
It's the
me.
freaking worst,
Oh.
man.
Down vote.
It's well, I don't want to show it because I don't know if I can
Don't.
do it.
Don't.
You know, what I mean,
You'll
if I
get a down
if
vote though.
I could, I'll have to take the L. All right.
I don't know what you expected coming in here other than abuse.
Oh, this
Okay.
is not abuse. I've had abuse. This is not abuse.
It could be worse, man.
Yeah, it could be a lot worse.
It could be worse.
Okay, what am I looking at? Have you played with the building pieces at all?
Yes, because me building things is a great thing.
I've seen your building, and it's a good thing you were a goblin because it was perfectly themed.
Was perfectly themed.
Action areas.
Listen, I don't build. I just tell the builder to rebuild 3 times a season.
I'm not rebuilding.
Put
I'm
the
on play to do
trebuchet
it.
over there.
Ren, why would you do that to us?
I'm not doing it to you. I'm doing it to Stray.
What,
Faust.
why would you? Okay.
Guys, okay, you
I take personal
Conan
pleasure in tormenting
Conan
Stray
players,
when he's
what am I
building.
missing in the blacksmith room?
But he's
What am
not building.
I've got to be missing a bench, but I don't know what I'm missing.
Sure.
He's not.
I have the furnaces and I have the bench, and I know there's more, but I just don't remember what I'm missing. Obviously, I don't remember.
I don't think he wanted to. I asked him about it. I think I
Yeah,
asked him
because I
about
make
it.
him rebuild 3 times a fucking season. Of course he didn't want to. He even like planned for it in the last one. He was like, I know you're gonna make me do this, so I'm gonna go pick out 3 spots that I like.
That's fair. Honestly, that's fair.
I couldn't even put like where a lot of the towns were on the map because I didn't know.
What do you mean you didn't know?
I did not. I didn't build any of that stuff.
Oh, okay. I was like, so, did you just not decide and just were like, whatever?
No. I didn't build that stuff. Like, Annie built a lot of the places. Revan and Hunger built a lot of the places. Dragon built some place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't know where the hell they are.
About VoIP talking circles, so like over range.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been really on people's asses in recent builds about like making sure there's like dedicated spaces that don't overlap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I specifically asked Revan about that.
Yes, and it should be fine from what I understand and what
We've
attempted to test.
We've built different buildings pretty far apart.
Yeah.
It's not like Camelot where you had like them across the street and they're 20 feet away and you heard 30 different people talking about different shit.
Yep.
Yeah. That was my question, yeah. Because like literally we did an entire rebuild on our last one to do about those 15 tiles away so people would stop cross talking and breaking brains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3.
Just if you look at an intersection, I think is 18 from end to end. The road.
I know I'm missing something in the blacksmith.
I know people like take it like really offended when I say in character, can you move away a little bit because you're like really loud. But I just can't. Oh, my mommy's calling me. Okay, bye.
Bye.
The way she sounds so innocent saying that.
Yeah, we should be fine. I just went over and counted all the spots.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not worried about it, for at least for the stuff that I had. But in towns, we should be fine too.
And what's nice is because of the roads, we can have sort of a larger sprawling place and have it make, you know what I mean? Make it look decent.
Yeah.
Just have to worry about, people shouldn't place the street lights too close because you don't want the overlapping lights. That causes lag.
Yeah.
I don't know about I went running around the town I built, with the stat FPS on, and I mean, granted, I'm running a pretty good machine, but you know, like if I'm not dropping below 70 FPS, no matter where I look, you know, I specifically remember builds that I would turn on my machine and I dropped to like 20. I'm like, oh crap. I'm wondering how many people are going to have lava lamps in their house.
A few, probably.
Mm-hmm. I think so. And I don't think I got the chance to show you the new stuff for the
what was the other one? The deco.
for the dungeons.
What's this one, right? The deco crossing.
Yeah, if you're adding lava lamps, man, that's on you, not on me.
Well, it's not technically a lava lamp. It's more like a potion. So
Just looks like a lava lamp.
yeah, it kind of looks like a lava lamp.
A lava lamp that I can legitimize? I'm having one. At least one. I'll try to get the weapons updated too. We have some pretty cool weapons that I'd like to put out, but got to do them right.
Did you update the website with the lore yet?
Yes.
So, does it state time frame, like referencing real world things prior to 1823?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all in the guidelines. I'm just being quiet because I've been talking for like an hour.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, I appreciate that,
I'm
buddy.
gonna cut off now since we're done with the.
But seriously, take a breath. Wow.
Well, we just had a CC
Town
meeting too before
hall.
this. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just. Had
Oh,
CC
good
meeting.
hour.
For like 3 or 4 hours before that too.
We're gonna be here if you have questions, tickets, or just post it. You know, in the
And
Discord.
then at a work meeting,
Be able to.
we had a
help you out
guy
there, but,
who's the
I'll highlight this later, and
he's
I
the
will
director
post
of
it
networking.
so that
Apparently,
you
he
guys
just
can
up and
share
left.
it, send it out, whatever you need to for those that missed the meeting. But have a good one, guys. Bye bye.